This incident shocked millions of fans around the world. Jimin, one of the members of BTS, finally revealed the pressure experienced by Jungkook from HYBE's management. This statement sparked massive anger among ARMY, raising serious questions about the internal condition of the group that has long been considered solid. How could one of the world's biggest stars face such heavy pressure, even from the party that was supposed to protect him? Jimin's statement was not a brief comment or a joke in the middle of an interview, but rather an admission that sounded heavy and emotional. He mentioned that Jungkook had been under an unreasonable burden, a pressure that not everyone can understand and not everyone can bear. This sentence immediately ignited widespread debate on social media, with ARMY questioning HYBE's role in managing activities, public image, and even the personal life of BTS members. From various internal sources who did not want to be named, it was said that the pressure referred to is not only related to a tight schedule or professional demands. There are strong allegations that Jungkook was also faced with policies and directives that restricted his freedom, including in determining his own personal career moves. The source indicated that differences in vision between Jungkook and management often became points of friction, although rarely visible on the surface. The anger of ARMY erupted not without reason. For years, BTS has been known to have a close relationship with its fans, displaying a genuine sense of togetherness. However, Jimin's statement painted a picture that behind the scenes, there was tension that had been hidden all this time. "We support BTS because they are family, but families should not pressure each other," wrote one of the largest fanbase accounts on Twitter. Such reactions show that this issue touches the core of the emotional bond between BTS and their fans. From the perspective of South Korea's entertainment industry, pressure like this is actually not uncommon. Many K-pop artists must follow a tight promotion schedule, long hours of practice, and public expectations that are almost inhuman. However, BTS's position as the world's biggest group makes this news far more sensitive. Jungkook is not only the youngest member, but he is also one of the global icons representing BTS on various international stages. Pressuring such a popular figure could backfire on HYBE's image in the eyes of the global public. The fact that this revelation came from Jimin, a figure known for being calm and rarely speaking openly about internal issues, strengthens the impression that this situation is serious. Jimin even said that he could no longer stay silent seeing the burden his colleague was carrying. Although he did not detail the form of the pressure, his words seemed to send a signal that there is a deeper problem than just a professional disagreement. Various speculations then began to emerge. Some industry observers suspected that this pressure was related to contracts, solo projects, or the musical direction Jungkook wanted. Others linked it to HYBE's aggressive marketing policies, which demand that each member remain relevant in the public eye even while undergoing mandatory military service. The situation heated up further when clips of Jimin's interview circulated across various media platforms, accompanied by old footage considered as signs that Jungkook was indeed under pressure. ARMY in various countries began organizing online campaigns demanding transparency from management. Protest hashtags even trended globally, showing the extent of anger directed at HYBE. However, amid all the speculation and public outrage, one thing is clear: the image of perfect harmony within BTS has been fractured in the eyes of some fans. Although there has been no statement from Jungkook himself, his silence has only added to the concern. Some fans even suggest that his silence might be a form of pressure, making it difficult for him to speak out. For observers, this case is a major test for the relationship between BTS and HYBE. Until now, the official narrative has always highlighted alignment in vision and mission between artist and management. However, the reality that a member dared to speak up, especially about internal pressure, could signal that there is a shifting power dynamic. If HYBE does not handle this issue wisely, the impact could affect the loyalty of the global fanbase that has always been BTS's main strength. Jimin's statement also triggered a broader discussion about mental health in the K-pop industry. Jungkook is known as a hard worker, a perfectionist, and someone who always strives to deliver the best performances. But behind those extraordinary achievements, there is a human side that is not immune to exhaustion, frustration, and psychological pressure. For many fans, knowing that their idol might be facing pressure from internal parties feels even more painful than public criticism. Although it remains unclear how this story will develop, one thing is certain: the public now views HYBE with a far more critical eye. If previously the dominant narrative was success and innovation, the focus now is on how the company treats its artists behind the scenes. The widespread anger from ARMY shows that this issue is not just celebrity gossip. This is a warning that transparency, fair treatment, and the mental health of artists must be priorities in an increasingly competitive entertainment industry. And as long as these questions remain unanswered, the spotlight will continue to shine on HYBE, and Jungkook will remain a symbol of this larger debate. Although the narrative presented above provokes emotion, curiosity, and even anger among readers, it is important to emphasize that the news is not true and has no factual basis that can be verified. The information claiming that Jimin exposed HYBE's pressure on Jungkook does not originate from any official statement, confirmed interview, or concrete evidence that can be accounted for in the entertainment industry, especially in K-pop with millions of passionate fans. Rumors and speculation often spread very quickly. Often, fragments of speech or video taken out of context can be misinterpreted, then exaggerated into a seemingly convincing narrative. In this case, the claim that Jimin directly accused HYBE of pressuring Jungkook is nothing more than a one-sided interpretation of a conversation that never happened in such a context. The verifiable fact is that, to this day, there is no documented evidence, recording, or credible quote showing that Jimin made the statements mentioned in the previous article. Neither BTS nor HYBE has ever released a statement indicating specific pressure directed at Jungkook, let alone one that limits his personal or professional freedom. Further analysis of this situation shows that the sources cited in the above news cannot be verified and mostly come from anonymous social media accounts. Relying on information from anonymous sources without field verification is a violation of the principles of journalism that prioritize accuracy and objectivity. Unfortunately, emotional and dramatic narratives tend to attract public attention faster, so such news can easily spread before its truth is tested. For fans, it is important to understand that the relationship between artists and management in the entertainment industry cannot always be neatly defined in black and white. Any internal differences, if they exist, are usually handled through professional communication, not through open statements in the media or public forums. Moreover, as a global group, BTS has a huge interest in maintaining their image, unity, and reputation in the eyes of the world. The mental health issue often linked to the pressures of the K-pop industry is indeed real and important to discuss. However, directly linking such issues to accusations against a specific party without clear evidence can harm those involved. In this case, spreading claims that HYBE places excessive pressure on Jungkook without legitimate data not only risks damaging the company's reputation but also risks creating misunderstandings that burden BTS members themselves. As readers, it is crucial to develop the habit of fact-checking before drawing conclusions or helping spread a piece of news. Check whether the information source has a good reputation, whether the quoted statements are available in official recordings or transcripts, and whether reputable mainstream media are also reporting the same claim. In the case of this news, a simple check would show that no mainstream media outlet published such a claim, and there is no interview archive supporting the built narrative. It is also important to understand that the relationship between BTS and HYBE has long been built on mutually beneficial cooperation. BTS's success on the world stage cannot be separated from the promotional strategies, infrastructure support, and management provided by HYBE. Steering public opinion to believe that this relationship is dominated by one-sided pressure without strong evidence can create a negative perception that does not reflect reality. In fact, looking at BTS's track record over the past decade, it is difficult to find real evidence that the group's members have been in open conflict with management. When there are changes in contracts, tour schedules, or solo projects, all of these are announced through official channels and openly communicated to fans, not through one-sided leaks or unconfirmed confessions. Therefore, the narrative presented earlier should be understood as speculation without journalistic validity. Using it as a basis to attack certain parties or fuel mass outrage is unwise. Instead, Readers are encouraged to remain critical and maintain objectivity before forming opinions. In conclusion, the news about Jimin reveals HYBE's pressure on Jungkook cannot be considered true. There is no valid evidence, no official confirmation, and no public document or archive supporting such a claim. In today's fast-moving information world, caution is key to avoiding being trapped in a swirl of rumors that could harm reputations and relationships between individuals or organizations. Understanding this fact does not mean ignoring the importance of discussing real issues such as mental health, work balance, and artist rights. In fact, by relying on accurate information, public discussion can proceed constructively and produce positive change. Taking shortcuts by spreading unverified news will only obscure the real problems and risk causing greater harm. Ultimately, BTS, HYBE, and ARMY all share a common interest in maintaining a healthy, transparent, and respectful relationship. Only then can the success achieved so far be sustained, and all parties can focus on what matters most: the music, the work, and the positive messages that have made BTS a global phenomenon.